It's about time we had you on. My goodness, we've been talking about it for a while, but 45 seasons. My goodness, does it feel like that long when you say that, or has it kind of gone
Um,
by in a
well,
flash?
only when I was watching you play. That dragged it on for quite a while, but
That's hard on a
no.
guy, isn't it? Watching that shit.
Oh, you walked right into that, Jay. Come on
Oh
now. I
shit!
mean,
I
really,
should have
right?
known. I should have known.
No, you know what? It hasn't. It's been a great run. I've enjoyed every minute of it. We've had lots of fun. We haven't had the ultimate prize, but we've come close a number of times. We've had, and as disappointing as the last, 5, 6, 7 years has been, the fact remains they got there, and lots of teams didn't. And so you sometimes you have to kind of sit back and say, it wasn't that bad. It was disappointing, yeah, and it would have been nice to have gone further, but you got to get there to be disappointed. And we're watching a team currently trying to win a World Series that has been a disappointment for a number of years now, and at the beginning of this year was completely written off. So it is sports is a wonderful thing, and if you attach your allegiance to a group, a team in any sport, you got to ride the ups and downs. And trust me, there are a lot more downs than there are ups. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the Leafs can draw inspiration from the Blue Jays and that story. And I won't lie, Bones, you watching the game against Columbus brought back memories. If you remember, of course, spent a couple seasons doing the pre-intermission and post, and that fucking bubble loss to Columbus, man. I just couldn't get out of my head for like 2 days. But what's your read on this start for this Maple Leafs team? It is a polarizing question right now in this market.
It is, and thank God the Blue Jays are playing as well as they are, to take a little of the heat off of them anyway. Um, when you look back over the last 4 or 5 years and you look at the month of October, um, this team usually comes out spinning its wheels, and they really haven't gotten any traction as yet. I think they're looking for their identity. I think they're looking for obviously some consistency, and that starts right from the goaltender on out. Injuries have played a factor, and everything else. I think it's way too early to be, gnashing of teeth and grinding of fists into what they're doing. But they have to get things kind of turned around. There's no two ways about that. They've got to get their act together. They've got to start producing more. They've got to be a lot more consistent, and they've got to be better at both ends of the rink. They've looked slow, and lots of times that's not skating speed; it's puck movement, and that's one of the things I think that has to improve. And once that improves, I think a lot of other things will happen, in a domino effect, if you will.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I've always thought that watching the game up from your perspective in the press box, it's so easy. You can see so many things develop, and everything's really obvious. You've watched a lot of teams and a lot of games from that perspective. On this one, you said they're a little bit slow. A lot of the knock on them right now is like their intensity and the passion, and like their people knock on them for like not showing enough exuberance, or it's not trying, but do you notice them being flat out there? Do you wish you would see more passion and intensity out there? Or what's your perspective from up in the press box?
Uh, I think, Jay, one of the things too, you've got lots of new people, and they're being asked to do a different system or adhere to what the coaching staff is doing. And I remember Harry Neal's great line was, "Don't think you'll hurt the team." And maybe what we're seeing is some people overthinking, trying instead of the natural progression of reacting and doing things that come naturally to you, are being overshadowed a little bit about, should I be here? Where do I need to be? And then by the time you process something where you're actually thinking instead of naturally reacting, you don't get there and things don't happen and the puck stays in and all of a sudden it becomes a hornet's nest and things start to fall apart. And so I think that that's one of the things. I think they just got to let it go. Do things that you naturally do. Don't overthink the situation. Adhere to the policy of what they want to do as a group and everything else. But I think that maybe sometimes you just kind of overthink it. Sometimes you just got to, you know what, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Let's get it going.
You think that's how John Tavares scripted the way his 500th goal would go down? Kudos to you on the call. How difficult is making a call like that in a game like that?
Nicky, I'm embarrassed by the call. I really am. I felt like John, and maybe that's wrong. And I sincerely hope that 501 is a huge goal or opening goal, and I'm going to treat it the way it should have been. I did him a disservice, and I apologize for that. We were upset, we were disappointed, we were frustrated, and you could see that on John's face. He went through the hand tap line and just sat down. There was nothing else. And I suppose maybe sometimes we're too close to it, but that's how I felt. I felt exactly the same way Johnny felt. We'll celebrate this on another time and another occasion, but what a tremendous career, and what a tremendous leader, what a tremendous consistent player this guy has been. And when you add on to that what he has done personally to stay here and try to turn things around and to win here, I'm lost for words, really, about how much we should have, how much respect we should have for this young man and what he has done here in Toronto.
Yeah, without question. I always think about the draft and prospects and general managers not knowing what players are going to do or what they're going to be. And I just always think that if anyone is the template of what a professional is, it's John Tavares without question. Going from a veteran like John to a rookie like, say, Easton Cowan, what's your perspective been on Easton Cowan? How has he been? A lot of talk at the beginning of the season about what's better for his development, playing on this team or being in the minors. And he's been on the first line. He's been on the fourth line. What's your thoughts on Easton Cowan and his development and where he's at?
I think he's gotten better each day, to be honest with you, in each game. He is kind of bouncing around, and sometimes, depending on the game, a close game, sometimes the coaching staff decides I'd rather have a more experienced hand out there protecting a 1-goal lead or whatever. But you can definitely see the artistry and the intelligence and the creativity that this young man displayed while playing junior hockey in London. And it's only a matter of time. And I think he is another perfect example of what I was talking about, Jay. Thinking too much instead of just reacting and going with his God-given talent. Sometimes you can see him hesitate and look for Matthews as opposed to, you know what, I'm in a pretty good spot here. I should be shooting the puck. And sometimes you to get a player to be a little more selfish, for the lack of a better term, in those situations takes a little bit more experience. But I think he's gotten better. I don't think at this particular point anyway that time in the American Hockey League would benefit him any more than what he's seeing here. He's playing important minutes. He's on the power play. He's doing things of that nature. I think that it's just a matter of getting attuned and acclimed to the National Hockey League and the speed and the size of this league. But I can see that this kid is going to be a real good hockey player and a good producer.
What gives you hope that this team can give you a Stanley Cup send-off this season?
What was that, Nick?
Stanley Cup.
Well, I'm going to get T-shirts made up that just simply say, win one before I'm feckin' done. It's an Irish term. I was over in Ireland, and I heard it a lot over there for the 2 weeks that I was away. Obviously, I mean, it would be a crowning moment. It would be great. But you know what? I can't dream it any more than we have, I suppose. You want to go out with guns blazing and everything else, but when you look back on the entire body of work that I've had, I can't say that I've had a wonderful run. I've had a great time, worked with some outstanding people, and it is what it is. We'll play that card when we get to it, and hopefully we have a full deck going at the end of the year to play a lot of cards.
That sure would be nice. You've seen them all. You've seen all the seasons. What's that one piece that you want to see this team do that you think's holding them back?
Holding them back. You know what? It would be really nice if they got into a game 7 and all of a sudden had Lady Luck kind of sit on their shoulder for once. How many times has that disappointment kind of rocked the franchise? And sooner or later, that's going to turn. Hopefully sooner, in my case, but it will. I'm old enough. I don't remember it because I was being walked because I was fussing. But my dad told me that I listened to Foster tell me that Bill Barilko had scored the winning goal. So I've gone through lots of wins growing up as a kid. I've enjoyed the wonderful runs we had with Clark and Gilmore and Pat Burns and Pat Quinn, where we were as close as damn is to swearing to get to the promised land, but it didn't happen. And one of these days, the hockey gods are going to say, all right, enough's enough. We've tortured them enough. We're going to do something. And I've been a Boston Red Sox fan since back in the early 60s, and I am still a Boston Red Sox fan. The Jays are my second favorite team. I have to go along with that. But you know what 2004 meant to the Boston Red Sox fans? 86 years and down 3-0, and hello, the Yankees lose. And, the rest is history. And something like that will happen to the Maple Leafs, and it'll be a magical run. And whoever has happened to be in the chair doing the games, whether it's me or someone else, it'll be something that will never be forgotten. It'll have this city and this province and a lot of this country going crazy, and it will happen. We just have to hope that it's sooner than later.
Why not us? That is a really good
question.
Why not
us? Exactly. Why not us?
Let's talk November 4th. Yeah, no, I love that. That's a great call. But let's talk November 14th. What possessed you to agree to a roast? And just tell us all about that happening.
Well, I played hockey with the Unionville Men's Hockey League for the better part of 40 years, and I've just hung the goalie pads up here last year. Hips and shoulders, I've decided I don't want to have operated on, so I'm not pushing the envelope any further. But these guys do a great job. They have Hockey with Heart is the umbrella that they utilize for their charitable work. They collect food and canned goods and whatnot at Christmas time. They're involved in all kinds of different kinds of charitable events. They do a great job. Brent Smith, who was a Maple Leaf trainer, is very much involved in it as well. You would know him, of course. And Brad Fletcher do a great job. They have teamed up now with Hockey Helps the Homeless. They're involved with a hockey tournament where a lot of alumni members, not only from the Leafs, but from the National Hockey League, are involved playing on these teams. And they contacted me and said, would you like to maybe be a part of a small little gathering after the event on the 14th that they're having up at Angus Glen Arena? And I said, yeah, that'd be kind of nice. We maybe can raise a couple of bucks. And then it began to snowball. And they said, well, let's do a roast. I said, okay, so, well, we'll do that. There's 100 people coming with this thing. Well, then all of a sudden, well, why don't we open it up? And they have, and it's going to be at Angus Glen Arena, and tickets are going very nicely. And you can purchase them by going to hockeywithheart.ca, and they will send you off to wherever you need to go. So we've got Jesse Ralph, Jim Ralph's son, who is a stand-up comedian who is just terrific. He's going to MC it. We've got a bunch of yahoos who are going to show up, including 4 Bowen boys who I'm sure will be very nice to me, or they'll be taken out of the will for whatever is left. And we'll see how it all works out. But it should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Who scares you more? Which Ralph? Is it Jim or Jesse?
Oh, no, it's got to be Jim. No. Yeah, he knows way too much. Way too much. Way too much. It should be a lot of fun. One of the great lines, and it's funny, we've been together for 29 years, and we laugh at one another every once in a while when they never come up to Ralphie or me and say, oh, that was a great bit of analysis, Ralphie, that you made on that goal that was scored the other day. That's never what's brought up. It's you two fools had me laughing about some stupid thing that you were doing. And I said, well, they're going to have a roast for me, but we roast each other just about every night on the air. So what the hell's the difference? And one of the best ones, I have to admit, we were in Montreal and they had feted out Jean Béliveau and Mrs. Béliveau to center ice. And they were celebrating their 62nd wedding anniversary. And Ralphie turned to me and said, well, there's a mark we're never going to make, having been married 5 times between the two of us.
Yeah, I think your chances of that have sailed.
Nah, that ship has sailed. That's gone. That's done.
Oh, shit.
That's awesome stuff, man. Hey, I've told you before, it was a pleasure working with you. We're going to see you around the rink continuing this year, and let's hope for greener pastures for this Maple Leafs team. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, anytime, boys. Good being with you. All the best, Jay. And Mickey, always fun to see you around the rink. You got to stick your head up once in a while there, big boy, and come up and say hello. Nick's there all the time.
Oh, shit, I should. If I'm ever there, I'm pretty cozy in the alumni box.
No kidding. Yeah. What do you arm wrestle Lou Franceschetti for a drink or what?
No, it's usually trying to get my brother to stop talking about trucks and cattle with Wendell Clark.
One quick thing, if we have time, guys. One of the best trips, and whenever we went out west, Les Clark, Wendell's dad, would come up and sit with Harry and I, and we would get about an hour and a half during the pregame skate, the plight of the Canadian farmer, how things were going so badly. This was costing this, and this was tough there, and tariffs here, and everything else. Then we'd walk out into the parking lot, and Les would have the biggest, newest pickup truck with every bit of new stuff on it, and I would walk up. I said, Les, it can't be going that bad. Can't be going that.
Hey, yeah, we do the same thing out here too. Funny, the sky's always falling, but they always got a new place in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good for them.
We need
Good for them. God bless them all.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.